do this crazy roleplay game thing. Hi, I'm Scott's Case Files, and it's been a while since we talked to our Dune people. For anyone watching this on YouTube eventually, it won't be but a second. But here we are. It's been like 3 weeks now between, stuff and more stuff and my stuff and everybody's stuff. And now we're back and we're doing the thing, and things are looking good. As I was telling players, are looking quite rejuvenated and youthful and glowing and all that good stuff. So we're on a good track here. I like to think so. So let's say hi to our players real quick. Let's start over here with Jonathan. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I had a good break, and it was relaxing and restful. And now I'm ready to, send people back into the horrors of war against the Harkonnen.
Well, that's a good thing. Don't put that on a resume or anything, but that's awesome to hear here.
I mean, good. I led people in a guided conflict resolution. We circled back on I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the corporate bullshit. Email terms,
cutthroat strategies.
Yeah,
all the good stuff. Awesome. And we have Danielle. How are you doing, Danielle?
I'm good. I'm flattered that you keep saying it looks like we're all well rested, because I don't think I've ever been more stressed in my life than I've been these past couple of weeks. But apparently, I'm covering very well.
Yeah, you're faking it real well. Fake it till you make it, I believe is the saying.
Yeah.
So you're so close to making it. But I hope you're hanging in there. You got this.
Good. Glad the game is back.
Excellent. Awesome. And of course, we have Susan /Tinker Gnome. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm here.
Oh, wow.
Ready to get back into this.
The bar was low, apparently. Okay, well, I can work with that. That's fine. And last but not least, we have the infamous, the one, the only, the Steve. How you doing, Steve? I think you're muted. You're so close.
Yes,
we're so close. Oh, there you go. Now I hear you.
I was busy. Change of environment first, so we'll see how this goes.
Awesome. Well, we'll figure it out. Not to worry. We're going to do this. So, when last we left our wondrous adventurers, they were in the middle of a raid on a nascent House Nestor. It was being led by none other than our own Jindo. We had Castian as kind of head of one of the squads, along with a supporting character, who played by Susan, who is doing the bloodshed thing as Susan does. And last but not least, Anaya had been captured off screen, which is what happens to you when you don't aren't able to make a session. I find reasons, to not have you there, and this seemed very logical. So so she was captured, and 2 missions: get Anaya, and also get some intelligence that's in theory left there at this compound. And by the way, you're on Giddy Prime. Oh my god. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. First of all, I kind of wanted to touch base with Reza. Reza, are you back? Is Reza back? Or are we doing a supporting character? Or what do you feel? I feel Reza tonight. I feel very Reza.
Okay, we'll go Reza tonight. Because I don't remember how I played the other character anyway, so it's all good.
It's all right. You're doing great. Well, hopefully you remember Reza, because she's awesome. So, so we're going to have Reza, we got Anaya, we got Jindo, we got Castian, all doing what they do. I was thinking we would kind of jump ahead slightly. When we left actually, I haven't even moved the Roll20 battlefield. So let's take a look at where we kind of were. Hold on. There we go. So, so here we had our crushers that landed, our guild crushers that landed with the troops, who then advanced and started taking out House Nestor troops / House Harkonnen, and actually took out one whole group and most of the next. And we still had one kind of cadre of soldiers in the compound. This is the actual compound. See my wondrous illustration here. In this zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. And yeah, that's where we kind of left things. What I would like to jump ahead to, just so we can make it exciting, is basically have like at least this guy wiped out. Let's move him over here. And here's our Castian group, and Castian's group is interested in making an entrance. Meanwhile, on the inside, we have Anaya, who's in there, and I would like to say, let's. I'm going to make something interesting. Reza, I'm going to kind of put you out there. We're gonna have a dramatic Reza entrance, but we'll get there.
Is there any other way that Reza enters anything? Like,
that is a really, really on point. So, oh damn, is it on fleek? Is that what the kids are saying these days? I don't know. Or is that already gone? It like literally happens for a second and then it's over. I don't know. It's okay. I don't even try to catch up. And I'm terrified of looking in the Urban Dictionary for what I'm going to find. Don't look up Santorum, among other things. Please don't do that to yourself. And your Google search history just goes to hell right after that. So anyway, so cool. And Jindo, I was hoping that now that like there was like one group left, your guys are pretty much going to mass over them. And I was, oh, doggy. And sorry, distracted. And I was thinking that Jindo would then kind of join the fray. You've been kind of the lead from behind guy at the moment, as was necessary. And now I can imagine that Jindo is getting a little itchy to kind of get out there and do the thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if it weren't for the communications, like the need for that, then I don't think Jindo would have stayed in the Crusher at all. But yeah,
right, exactly. But that was again, as we kind of went over it last time, that was incredibly necessary.
Yeah, tactical need.
Yeah, tactical need. So yeah, let's do the thing. So let's see here. Where shall we start? I think the most unsure of where the heck things were was Anaya. Anaya, I believe, after your talk with Alexei Nestor. Intro vid. Thank you, Steve. Almost forgot that. Let's do the intro vid. Thank you. I was so in practice, and then I'm out of practice, and now Steve has to remind me of stuff, and when Steve has to remind me of stuff, it's hard times. Actually, Steve's
well, it's like the third person to remind you, so.
Oh yeah. Oh my. Jeez. Oh my goodness. So let's do that. I don't want to revolt on my hands here. So let's do the thing. Here we go. Intro video.
A secret report from within the Spacing Guild. A prescient nexus has been discovered surrounding a house miner. There are so many possibilities that we have no vision. A 4-stage navigator was sent to Orbot to investigate. It is a house of entertainers, actors, dancers, and yet they also trade in secrets and favors. All prescient roads lead to one place for this house miner. Arrakis, home of the Spice Melange. The observation of House Gildrun continues.
My Facebook is like nothing but adopt these animals.
Okay, Revolt. got over the revolt. No revolt will be happening here. And yes, animals are all over the place and they're cute. Aren't they all?
This revolt is over. There's potential for future revolt. We reserve that right.
I can completely understand that. So let's start off. Again, let's go back to Anaya. Anaya was the most unsure of like where she was at. Basically, when last we left Anaya, she had her conversation with House Nestor, head of the nascent house that they're raiding right now. And he seemed to be very okay with this thing happening. in fact, it was part of his plan, maybe. Left her with an interesting few messages for the sisterhood, etc. And I believe Anaya decided that she wasn't gonna just sit there like a punk, and she was gonna get in on this. Nobody needs to come to her rescue. She's gonna come to someone else's rescue. So I think you found a knife or something somewhere. And then we're heading out.
I know I was heading out. I don't know if I had a knife or anything, but I know I had opened the door, which I had been told to be careful about because of the way it had a needle trap in it. And then I was gonna go be in a much cooler position than locked in a room whenever my friends find me.
There is a rep to protect here.
Yes, there's a reputation to protect.
So excellent. So yeah, well, I think it's easy to say that you can you've probably found a blade. Probably isn't the best in the world. It might have actually been for someone's meal, but it has a point. It has an edge that's more or less sharp. So good place to start. Pointy end goes in the enemy, as they say.
That is true. Yes.
Cool. So as usual, Anaya, you have your talent that lets you ask a question. So what's your question of this scene as you look out into the hallways of this complex?
So I can hear, we've already established, like, I can hear the sounds of the battle getting closer. My House Gildrun troops are, like, are close to breaching the facility at this point. What can I do that would be most helpful? Like, could I go get the intelligence that they were sent here to gather, so that I've already got it by the time they make it in?
So what's the actual question you're asking?
I guess the question is, what can I do that would be the most helpful and most impressive thing for when my friends finally find me?
Oh wow. The most impressive, of course, would be to have the intel from the vault. But that will. You probably aren't aware of any of that yet, because you don't even know as far as you're concerned, this is all for you. Like, they come to rescue me. Yeah. But actually, no, it's not true, because you were on the team that was originally sent to get this. So
yeah,
in fairness, you would know. So there is a vault. It definitely either is going to require like the equivalent of an expert safecracker or a las gun to get in there, and you have no las gun at the moment. So the other thing would be as Steve has noticed, open the door, or in some fashion make it easier for them to get in. So a distraction might be the best here. There's a cadre inside.
In lieu of the las gun, then. Since I don't have one, I will go attempt to open the door so I can act indignant that it took them this long to get here. And
all right.
Yeah, I will head toward wherever it sounds like they're attempting to breach into the facility, and then in that general area, see if I can find some kind of like not terribly well guarded entrance or exit, or something a point that I think I could reasonably take over. Yeah.
Excellent. There's so you can hear there's all this activity going on inside. There's a klaxon going off, alarm. There's just you can hear heavy booted footsteps everywhere, and the place you're in is very, what's the word, utilitarian. This is not a place for aesthetics or decoration. This is very much a work zone. As all of you know, this is the site that this is kind of set on is like a mineral extraction operation that's slowly failing. But this is kind of like the main, headquarters complex for this operation. So very bereft of anything. Everything smells like oil and like dust inside. It's like, it permeates the place. And that only happened as you open the door. It's like, it seems like the room you were in is very protected. So as you kind of skulk around, you're going to find eventually that there are the checkpoints that were kind of brought, that were like from floor to floor, like you're on the second floor, it's a very short place, are gone. And instead, those troops have kind of gone back to reinforce the front door, basically, the front gates, if you will. There is one lagging behind. If you could do something to either take them out or distract them, this would be good. What are you thinking? Or I can come back to you if you would like some time.
Yeah, I might want you to come back to me so I can plan out what I'm going to do here. Roughly how many people how many troops are reinforcing the door?
Well, you're not at the door yet. Again, you're kind of like on the second floor going down a staircase to the first where the door is. And this is where you're encountering these people from these guards from this checkpoint that are now also, they're kind of like the stragglers leaving to pack up their gear and reinforce the entrance area. They're falling front instead of back, if you will, and doing so very slowly. So keep that in mind. I will come back to you, not to worry. Let's see, Castian. Yeah, so you and the remainder of your troops. There were probably a good couple taken out of the group that you were kind of heading as we went on. And what do you call it? It's like, people just randomly firing stun darts on the battlefield and stuff, stunner darts and that kind of thing that just happened to hit one of the guys. Another guy got taken out by he was ambushed from like a rocky crag, as you guys are kind of going up, that kind of thing. But otherwise your group is doing pretty damn well. You've already taken out one other group of soldiers, another cadre of soldiers, and you're pretty much, as I kind of placed you, you're at the door, and one of your guys, let's call him Frederick. He kind of looks at you, and he's one of the troops with the las gun, and he kind of like he looks to you, Castian, and he looks to the door. This is kind of like I want you guys to think of this complex as kind of like a monolith-looking structure. It's two stories. Maybe monolith isn't the right one, but it's very like black, smooth metal all the way up. No real seams that you can see and that kind of thing. This door or this entrance is definitely like thick metal, etc. This would be a perfect place for a las gun. However, what's on the other side, we don't know. It could be shielded people, that kind of thing. So this guy kind of like looks to you, you can see like the hesitation in his eyes, but he's like, what do we do? He has that kind of, what do we do look in his eyes.
Well, if we don't know, the las gun, if it's going to penetrate the door to the people behind, we're confident their soldiers are all shielded up. So let me look at, I probably have skills. One of them are over 4.
I probably have skills. I know you do.
Don't we have like a commander who's like in radio comm?
There was.
Or has he gone silent?
Yeah, he there was a note that he was going to be joining you on the battlefield and moving up. Now that you pretty much were sweeping up troops, there was no need for that level of organization, and he is joining the front lines.
Well, I think getting through the door is important, but also in a way that's not going to. Is there anything smaller than this like man-portable las gun that this guy has?
I mean, no, not that would be effective on a door like this. He has a knife. I mean, that'll take a while. But
Does the door have hinges, or is it a raised item?
I'll say that it again. This wasn't made for security so much, so I'm going to say it does have hinges.
I just point to him in the las gun and say, "Vicious use of force."
You see the guy. He like he again. Most every soldier is trained with las gun. It's hard to say you're a field soldier without having at least fired one on a test range here and there and that kind of thing. But you obviously don't get to use them much because of the danger. They're very environment and situationally specific weapons these days. Meaning these several millennia since there were shields. And so you can see this kind of glee in his eye as he actually, oh my god, I've been ordered to use the las gun and I probably won't nuke myself, so this is awesome. And you definitely see this glee turn into determination and focus as he kind of turns to the hinges on the door.
So smaller target and a little more precise.
Yeah, exactly. And he does get closer. He's not trying to six gun it here. Oh my god. And he kind of gets into place, and next thing you know, you can hear that crackle zap of the las gun. Is it las gun or las gun? I don't know. I do las gun. I think it's like Harkonnen. It's like, are you from the north or the south, or where are you from? It's all that.
Lasgoon.
Lasgoon. Oh my goodness, that's way out there. That's like on the periphery of the rim or whatever. Umlaut U's are not in vogue these days. But yes, so you hear the snap, crackle, zap of it, snap, crackle, back, and you just moments later you see the hinges just kind of drop to the ground, and like they're smoking. Even through your shield, you're slowly getting that scent of when you actually burn metal. It's on the verge of melting, that kind of thing. I really can't describe it. Yeah, that burning metal smell, which so well. And he kind of like, I want to get out of the way, sir.
I assumed yes. It's like I assumed that when the door comes down, that's the cue for the people to storm in.
Yeah. So far, so like the thing is, it's not.
Yes, we're not standing like in front of the door that's going to fall, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, everyone has now moved out of the way. I'm going to say it's like there's this pregnant pause as you're all waiting for the thing to fall on cue, and it's just not. And it's that the guy with the las gun. He looks to you, Castian, and he look like he looks from you to the hinges and back, and he's kind of just shrugs, and it's like
I just shake my head at him.
So we're gonna stick a pin in that real quick, and we'll be. Or did you want to? Was there something you want to say right before we do that?
I would be like, expected a little bit better.
You're like literally like. There's blood on your hand from where you knifed that last guy. There's, debris in the air, smoke, and this is like not where he expected to get his progress report from the boss. And
I just gesture to him, and just gesture like a little, like 45-degree line on the bottom of the door.
Yeah. So you hear the snap crackle of the thing, and we'll hold you there for the second. Jindo, you're kind of you're kind of making your way up the battlefield. At this point, again, your people have wiped the floor with most of the troops, and again, you're at a point where strategically there's no reason for you to remain in the crusher and be in that kind of communication with them. They're soldiers. They see what needs to be done. You're going to make some speed here, which is not totally uncommon on the battlefield. But yeah, you hit your shield, it goes up to full strength, and it feels good. It's been a while since you've been on an actual battlefield, and that crackle kind of like the feel as it that electrical feel as it kind of, you feel the shield enclosing your skin. That singular feeling that only comes from the shield taking its place over your body. That comes into effect there. You smell the slightest bit of ozone, and it's like, I'm home. And as you go to the battlefield, there's a lot more of that ozone smell. A lot of the smoke has cleared. There were smoke bombs set off and that kind of thing. And you're at this point just making your way through the remnants of it, trying to get to the complex so you can be with your troops. The people who you've up until this point led from the rear out of necessity. And I'm going to say you're like just full run, and out from the smoke comes this disoriented House Nestor trooper, and you can see this through your shield and his shield. You can see this look of shock as he's obviously bloody. It's not sure if it's his or someone else's, but he comes out of this wall of smoke and debris, and the first thing he sees is you running at him full clip with probably both Kinjals drawn. And what do? You kind of have the upper hand on him for the moment.
Yeah, I will. I won't cut through him, but I want to use that advantage and just make as quick a work of him as I can.
Cool. Let's do the first roll
to move on.
Of the night. Perfect.
Cool. That brings up a question. Since we're kind of in the same sort of adventure as last time, are we hanging on to the momentum and threat we had from last time, or are we starting fresh?
That is a good question. Let's see where we're at. I don't see why not. It seems reasonable. So yeah, it looks like you're at max momentum. I'm good with that. This has been some time, and I'm sure I'm going to get some threat one way or another real soon.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I'm good with that. So yeah, if you want to spend some momentum.
Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what do you want to do?
Well, I suppose this will be a battle roll.
How much momentum do you want to spend, just so I can adjust it?
I will spend one momentum to grab an extra die.
Sounds reasonable. Anybody can object, of course, if you want. But cool.
Oh no, I spent one of our 6. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah. So it's a battle roll. What's your drive? What are you going to use for your drive?
This feels like power. This feels like get out of my way.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have let's take a look, just because it's been a while. Let's reacquaint ourselves with.
Yeah, this is power comes in many forms, which the more I read it now, especially coming back from the break, feels like a cop out. Like it needs to be something better, but
I think it's quite reasonable, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all about power. You're finally, you want to demonstrate some of your own. So yeah, that's definitely yeah. So cool, awesome. Let's do the thing.
Do I get my shield fighting focus for this, since we're both shielded right now?
Well, the way I'd been playing it before, because again, the last session, what I ended up doing, if I memory serves, is I really didn't add in the shield for part of the difficulty, but I got this flag on here, but we might as well. So you basically both of you will be harder to hit. It'll add 1 to the difficulty level. So let me set the stakes real quick.
Okay.
Let's see here. And if I recall correctly, we put these guys at like a 13 or a 12. I'm going to call this guy 12 just because. And let's see how we do. All right. Looks like one success. And then because he is harder to hit because of the shield, that's a difficulty of 2.
Okay. All right. So I need 2 successes. And yeah, using power. So here we go.
Nice. And actually, you got, let's see, 3 successes because that was a, what do you call it, a focus.
A hit and a crit. Yep.
And a crit. So, all right. So you got your momentum back right away. Let's go over there and take care of that. And describe what happens to this poor sot who ran into you by chance.
I think this is probably a very typical sort of closing the gap maneuver of just like, you make a big show of force with one blade and run and charge into your opponent, and then instead of making any sort of contact, it's just like a wheel around and a smaller blade goes into their back slowly.
Gotcha.
And
the old distraction feint.
Yeah, it's the slow blade and it's moving on.
Excellent. Yeah, the guy falls. You can kind of, you can hear his like cry as he realized he was taken by the second blade. These are not elite troops, it seems. And again, what they're regarding was not something you want to spend elite troops on, generally speaking. But yeah, you can just tell you could hear that cry of anguish as he goes down, and just falls, and you can just, you definitely marked a kill shot there. So it's just basically a matter of time before he bleeds out. He's probably unconscious by the time you've taken like 5 steps or so, and you continue through the wall of smoke. And let's go back to Anaya. Reza, don't worry, we're coming up on you. Anaya, what are you doing with that group?
So I think what I'm going to do, because Anaya's not really a hand-to-hand fighter, that's not really her thing. But these are people that are all rushing toward the front to kind of reinforce the door, right?
They're kind of the laggards, and they're like packing up the last of their equipment to bring down. But yeah, they're otherwise, yes, once that's all together, that is their plan.
So I think what Anaya's going to do instead, I'm assuming she's still, even though she got captured, like she's still dressed nicely. So she'll take a moment to just like make sure her hair, all of her hair is in place and everything. She looks presentable, because getting this to work is going to rely on her looking like she's an authoritative figure. And then she's going to shout to the guards and say, "You there, Lord Nestor commands that you cover his escape. Back that way." And throw like just a smidge of voice behind it. Not a lot, just a little bit, to try to get them all to go a different direction, essentially, and not go to the front door.
Oh, cool. All right. Awesome. So let's take a look again. It's been a while. Let's take a look at Anaya. So Anaya, that'll be sounds like a perfect communicate role.
Yep.
And what do you want to use as your drive?
It's definitely going to be power. I mean, this is a command. Like, she is not brooking any dissent here.
Excellent. Cool. And let's see here. Let's see here. And it's going to be, so you're, actually I want to look at your, I can't remember how the voice works.
So the way voice works is I can give you 1, 2, or 3 points of threat for an equivalent number of successes that are automatic. But I get to choose, and it's the more I go for the automatic successes, the more obvious the usage of the voice is.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. I'm going to set the stakes for these troops. Let's going to do one and done for these. Let's go with the 13 again. Let's see how we do. Set stakes. A whole bunch of nothing. So go ahead and roll. It's a zero difficulty.
Well, so I was going to give you 1 point of success or 1 point of threat for 1 automatic success. So I know I'm going to succeed, but I will roll as well. And I got 2 additional successes, so 3 successes.
Nice. And unfortunately, this is like one of those rolls where like find information isn't a great thing. Like you weren't really looking for information. I'll let you ask one question though, for nothing, since you actually you've now gone above your momentum spend. But I'll let you ask a question of these troops.
Ooh. That's what would be tactically advantageous in this situation. Do any of them have las guns?
Oh wow. None do.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. So they there's like 4 of them, and you seem kind of like they see where you're pointing, and they begin to scurry off, and then one is lagging behind, like just like they're carrying like this big box of equipment, and the others are just kind of like rushing towards the door, and you see kind of the other 3 go down the stairway, and the other one just stops. You know, puts the thing down and goes like, turns around and there's one of these, and it's Reza. She was here all the time. Reza, what do? You no longer need your cover identity.
Let's see, kind of, once I ripped that off, I kind of laughed maniacally about the whole situation, grabbed my Mala pistol out of the side of my holster on the side, and kind of like just excited to see everybody do like a shot up into the air. Just be like, hey guys!
It's not like it's not going to, blend in with the battle going on everywhere else. So I suppose this is not going to attract any other undue attention.
Surely not.
I think there's like the slightest, like the most minuscule possible break in Anaya's composure seeing Reza there. And then she says, oh, perfect. This will be easier with 2. We've got to go get the door open. And then she's just going to like walk off in that direction.
And Reza will just chase after her, trying to keep up.
Yep, I'm going to say Reza still has the House Nestor uniform on, so that may help in some things here and there. Excellent. Let's see. So are you guys heading towards the door or reconnoitering, or what's your plan?
I mean, I want to get up close enough to like at least see what's going on at the door. Not necessarily drawing attention to myself, but like these people were headed toward the door. I've just sent them somewhere else. I want to get close enough to see what's actually going on at the door, and if there's a way that I can do something on this side of the door to make it easier to open.
Gotcha. And Reza, you, I'm assuming you're also along for the ride here?
Yeah, I followed along behind her, and I'm just kind of taking her direction on what we need to do, since she probably has a better plan in place than I do.
There's no plan, but she's making it look like she does.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine that somewhere in the back of Anaya's, mind is like, that one guard hit me really hard on the back of the head. Was it Reza? Getting a little too into character? I suppose you have to sell it, right? And again, there's probably, I'm going to say there's probably even someone glancing over and sees Reza in her uniform and thinks nothing of it. Like, why would you? And you both can see that the door itself has kind of like it's a little more advanced than what you think of when you hear like the barring on the door, but it is basically barred. There's like a lock on one side that basically lets you fling open this like heavy, thick metal bar that's kind of in front of the door, kind of holding it there through a couple like what do we call them, like little collars attached to the door itself. But otherwise, the troops are pretty much gathered out there. They're kind of mounting around there. There's a lot of talk. Everyone is like full shielded. Like, again, these are not elite troops. They've probably been in combat at once or twice. But it's like, we don't have a plan for this. This is like, we're under attack. Do we burst out and like just fight them? I mean, or do we wait in here and then they just wait us out, or they start, send another crusher down on the complex, or, there's all this conversation going on.
I have an idea.
Ooh.
That would be cinematic, but I have no idea if it would actually work or not. Because you said I have a knife, right?
Yes, you have a knife. It's not a great knife, but it counts as a knife.
And you said this is almost like is the lock on this door that's barring it, is it electronic, and is there like a switch pad or a like a keypad or something?
It looks like it's some kind of like button code, like a slightly advanced version of the ones you might have seen, in present day daily life. Hit 1, 5, 4, 2, it pins in that order type of thing. But that's basically what it's like. They're probably the people who are there to guard it and allow admittance, know the code, and that kind of thing.
Do I reasonably think if I threw a knife and hit it and broke the mechanism that it would unlock the door?
I'm going to say there's an equal chance that it would make it useless and keep it locked.
Okay.
So I'll give you and Reza a few minutes to puzzle out your options. In the meantime, Castian, you're kind of, you and your cadre or your group, your squad, I think, are you kind of have your back to the wall just outside the doors, with arms at the ready to kind of burst in case something falls, hopefully soon. And you're kind of as you have your back to the wall, you're kind of looking into that smoke. You're waiting for like straggler troops to, circle around and try to get access to the complex themselves for safety. And you kind of probably start briefly as you see this figure come out of the smoke at a very, very quick pace, and it takes a second to kind of focus and recognize Jindo running at you. Jindo, you see... Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just going to give a brief command. Commander on deck.
Ooh.
So that everyone, stops to salute.
Yeah. I don't think at this point they're worrying about that. But yeah, you see them kind of come out of the smoke, and to their credit, the troops you're with kind of like noticed it too, and they were ready to kind of leap into action, so to speak. But yeah, Jindo, you see like the remainder of one of the squads. That there's one other squad of yours out there that's skirmishing with like the last Nestor squad. But otherwise, this is a pretty secure position right now. And I'll say you make it up to next to Castian if you're interested in doing so.
Is David around there anywhere?
Yeah, not too far away from Castian, actually.
I just kind of call over to him, and I'm like, "What? You didn't bring explosives with you this time?"
He looks around and he points to the guy with the las gun. And as he does so, he kind of shrugs and is like, "Well, our commander didn't have us bring any, so, sir."
So, sure. I want to fire the las gun through the door and risk the shielded men behind. What's your recommended breaching strategy?
That's bold of you to assume I had strategy for this.
You have far more experience than I do at this type of maneuver.
So for something like this, we would assume that there are shielded troops behind it. Like what's our over under on, hey, if we go to town on this thing with a las gun, like how much is that going to penetrate through?
It will likely cut through it like butter, like nothing.
Uh,
Cool.
Sergeant, whoever they were with the last gun. I have a low setting.
He kind of like looks to the weapon and looks to Castian. It's like it only needs one, sir.
If it has something lower, we can off our way and force them away from the door. Show it getting hot. Show that it's being cut through. Should part.
We could also try cutting, I guess, from the sides to sort of minimize contact. On,
I just point.
Oh, you tried that, I see. Well, good man.
Not sure where the locking mechanism is.
Have we tried the other side?
Have we tried the other side? Oh my god.
I mean, you're assuming that a bunch of soldiers would know how to like tactically point and dismantle a thing that is basically like fire and forget sort of device.
It's just so iffy. What if?
Right. So what are could I let's see here. Could we like try to obtain some information before we do this? Like maybe assess or try to see if there's maybe another way around or another entrance that we could go for, or is this pretty much it based on our intel?
So yeah, your intel was rather static and minimal. Even though again this is kind of like a low level target generally speaking, it seems like they kind of kept secret escaping to a minimum. It's for what reason or other, probably because Nestor. But yeah, if you want to send some troops out and have them scout, that would work. Want to do that?
Yeah, let's send a squad to do some recon.
Cool. Why don't you? Let's see here. I'm gonna have you give them some orders. So let's do the thing. So this will be. I'm gonna say this is discipline.
Okay.
Yeah, discipline and what? And I'm assuming you want to go power again. That makes some sense, or something else.
Yeah, I think so. I think let's stick with power.
Okay. All right. So discipline roll with power. It looks like you don't have any focuses on that. And I'm going to say it's easier because you're a veteran strategist. So that trait definitely works for you. So let me set the stakes here. Oops. Looks like we have one success. So that makes it zero success. I'm obviously not challenging you all enough. That much is obvious. But this is still a good place to do the thing. So yeah. So what do you say to these? I'm going to say you send like a detachment of your squad, like so 2 or 3 guys. What exactly do you tell them?
Yeah, I send David with them, and I'm like, hey, let's look for a less imposing way in. And I kind of give him a wink.
David gives you a quick salute, turns on his heel, and starts kind of leading the others off. Castan, are you staying with? Are you following those guys, or what's Castian's plan from the outside there? Oop, I think you're muted.
Trying to keep background noise doing them. I looked at Jindo. Does he want me to go with them to find a way in?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? Like we could, if we split off here, then if this door comes down, the bulk of the force can go in. If you find another way around, then, that could be, you'd have stealth and surprise on your side.
Okay. Now, as a note, you're in the same zone now, so those handheld communicators are actually worthwhile between all of you at this point, as a note.
Okay. So we can keep in touch while they're moving around the base.
You're in the zone, so you're good with what you have. You'd be out of range. You're out of range communicating with the crushers, though.
Okay. Cool. Do you want me to go ahead and roll for that test, or
no? That you already did. That's kind of getting them to start off on their reconnoiter with Castian with them. Or did you already do that?
I didn't roll for anything. You rolled and we came to a 0.
That's
for
right.
the difficulty.
That's right. And then yes, I am sorry. Yes, please go ahead and do the roll. Do the thing. Cool. All right. 2 successes. Nice. All right. Again, if we had more room on the momentum bar, I would use it. But you guys have been.
Is there? Can I use that momentum we just got to make a trait with it, or is it just like you don't get it at all? We have to spend the 6 we have.
Or? Oh no. You basically, if you end up putting it towards the pool and it's more than the 6, it goes away. If you can use it, absolutely, to gain like information or whatever. So do the thing.
Could I give Castian, and like basically we'll call it like Castian squad there, like could I give them sort of a stealthed or element of surprise kind of trait?
Yeah, seems reasonable. Again, it's your. I'm going to say yeah, because you're basically, the role was you ordering them to do the thing, they're doing it, and you're giving them a trait to help them out. Your role benefited them, so that makes all the sense in the world.
Okay, cool.
So I'd call it like benefit of surprise or something like that, or
yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. Let's pop it out there, and then Castian, you'll be enjoying that bonus also.
And Castian's used to working with smaller squads like this, so provided there's anyway, there's a wall, window, whatever. There's plenty of old, military tricks to form a human ladder.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get what you're saying. Yeah. So you guys are gonna your squad is gonna cruise around. Jindo, you're staying with the troops in front. I'm gonna say including the lasgun guy. He's not part of that group. He's it's not his job to get in, it's to be gotten in and then do his work with the lasgun.
Oh yeah, I'm 1,000,000% keeping an eye on that guy.
You're right. And you see Castian and his small squad kind of disappear into the remnants of the smoke, and let's head back and see what Reza and Naya are doing. What are you doing?
That is a good question. Well, I want to
Every
get
now
to
and then
that.
I have those.
I want to get to that keypad and see if I can get it to unlock the door, or get some help from one of the troops that are stationed here.
Cool. Reza, what are you trying to accomplish? What's Reza's thing?
I'm still not quite sure yet.
That's okay.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured that out. One of my thoughts was maybe making a asset with the momentum we have of like some deck cord or something to help break the lock. Something like that, maybe.
Gotcha. So, all that is possible. So, one of the things, Reza, and I because I put you in this situation, I'm giving you the benefit of having some inside information. You probably been stationed here for a while, in your undercover thing. So you actually are very well versed in the area, the other soldiers and whatnot. So you do have a certain advantage, even though you've temporarily at least given up your masquerade. You still know everyone's name, various code words and stuff like that. You've picked up some House Nestor battle language in your time. So just so you know, you have that at your advantage. Again, I'm giving the benefit of that because I'm putting you in this situation without your consent, kind of, sort of. But it's a good place to get you in and doing the thing and doing what Reza really does well, which is the disguise and the acting and the the blending in. So.
Okay, so like I could probably see somebody that's like kind of running by that looks like, hey, this person may know some of these codes on these doors, like they're a butler or maybe a higher aide. I'm not sure what kind of. I would think there would be more people here than just soldiers.
Yeah, there are soldiers. There are indeed servants, but they're all like very menial servants. They're not like they're not like butler level trained, that type of thing.
Okay.
And then you also have mineral extraction workers and that kind of thing. The people who work on the machines, people who actually do the extraction, the foremen of those people, that kind of thing. They're wandering through, and they're kind of hanging back because they are not in the business of murdering people or being in combat or whatever. But yeah, you can definitely grab on one of those people or talk to them or do something if you like as part of your thing.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to try to see if I can kind of bluff my way with one of them, hopefully still wearing the gear, but I'm just not somebody that they recognize now that I've pulled the mask and disguise off and whatnot, and hopefully I can maybe boss them into either open this door or find somebody who knows the code to open this door and kind of maybe shove them at it or something.
Cool.
I mean, if you can get the code, I can get over there.
Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to let's first roll let's try to reestablish your disguise. I mean, that's, again, I kind of made that part of your thing. So if you want to do that, you can do that, or we can just jump into you, like assuming that it's a person in the right uniform. I'll answer their questions, type of thing. So which does Reza want to do?
I was going to hope that maybe just still being in the uniform, but just not a face that they recognize very well, that I can still like kind of bluff them into, yes, I'm part of the Lord Nestor's crew. I need you to do this. Get this number for me.
Perfect. Cool. So yeah, let's call that that'll be a communicate roll. And what do you want to use as your drive?
Maybe truth. I decide what is true, and
Nice.
I am a soldier for Lord Nestor.
Excellent. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So it looks like you don't have a focus on that, which is okay. But hold on, I'm gonna set the stakes here. And looks like you have a stakes of 1 success.
Okay.
Go make your roll. Let's see how we do. See how the bluff goes. Nice. Yeah, excellent. So, yeah, you kind of, I'm going to say the person that you kind of, they're running by like frenzied again. They're not a soldier. Is like one of the foremen for the extraction groups, and you kind of probably grab them by the crook of the elbow, and force them to face you. And what is it that you actually say?
Sir, I need the code for this door. I need you to give it to me now, or find somebody who has it. We need it so we can get more of Lord Nestor's soldiers in here to keep you all protected.
Ooh, oh, that was brilliant. Yeah. Play to his mortality. That definitely works. So yeah, as you kind of say, he kind of looks like suspicious, or I can't really get that out until you mention the fact that yes, if people soldier type people get in here, he may very well find himself with a knife in his gut. Once you see that kind of realization hit him as you speak that, he kind of like takes out this this like a kind of like a long scrap, if you will. It's like it's like a script they give to the people who need to know every day. It like changes daily. He's like, here's the code. Just make sure they don't get in here. I have a whole family to feed.
I kind of nod my head at him and said, "Thank you, sir. Go with the others. Go get protected. We'll get these soldiers in here to keep you all safe." I hand the script over to Inara.
I'll take it. And you said it's like a 4-digit code or something like that, right? Like something along those lines.
It's more like a 10-digit code with like a symbol here and there and that kind of thing.
It's harder to commit to memory quickly. Then I'll just hold it in one hand. And yeah, I think Anaya. So she's Bene Gesserit with everything that implies, and she's a dancer. So Anaya is just gonna full on bolt for the door and for the keypad. And her goal is to get over there as quickly as possible for her and get the code entered really before anyone downstairs has had time to process the fact that she's moved through them.
Ooh, interesting. All right. I'm still going to make this is going to be one of those. This is more difficult. These soldiers are like the thing they're focusing on is that door.
Sure.
So you do have the benefit of they aren't going to like see it coming necessarily. But like they realize, this door is like the important thing. This is the thing that keeps us from dying right now. So I'm going to make this a little difficult. Let's
the fact that he isn't Bene Gesserit make it a little easier in turn.
Yes, it does. I'm going to make this again, and the other thing you're contending with is a bunch of these guys are all shielded, and right now you are not.
I have a shield. Well, I guess the question is, I have a shield belt in my equipment. Do I still have it, even though I was like imprisoned?
Yeah, you would have had all your stuff taken off you. Your clothes are even like not the ones you arrived in. Okay. Assuming that as a spy you had something secreted on your person, type of thing. But yeah, so I'm going to say this is going to be like a difficulty 5, 4, because you're Bene Gesserit.
Okay, that's a lot higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, again, only because this is like this is like this is their focus. This is the thing they're protecting, and you have to get there, hit a 10-digit code type of thing, and the hope is to not only do that but not get knifed in the process.
Okay. So difficulty 4 because of my my trait.
Does anyone have a talent that can help you out?
Well, I mean, we have a boatload of momentum you can spend.
I know. I am planning to spend some momentum to get extra dice here. I would make an argument that her focus of dancing is actually helpful here because she has to move in amongst these different people in the foyer to get to, or in front of the door to get to the pad.
Ooh, interesting. I want to say no on that one because again, the dancing, while it is very rhythmic and whatnot, it's more entertainment and not gymnastics per se. If you had like a gymnastics focus, I would say okay, that makes some sense. But I don't think dancing.
Gymnastics was more about like power, though. Like this is about being able to gracefully weave in amongst people.
Right. I still want to say no. It's just again, it doesn't feel like dancing. I don't want to get out of hand where dancing could be used as a focus in fighting by that same.
No, and I wouldn't try to use it as a focus in fighting, but mostly because I don't think I'd be making a move test if I was fighting, and this is specifically a move focus.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's going to make this harder if I can't bring that focus into play.
Can I use my performer talent to maybe distract people where she could get through faster and easier?
Yeah, you can absolutely assist. So you'll be able to roll one die. Assuming that Anaya does make any successes, you can then roll and go from there.
Okay.
I also have
I don't know if that would help.
No, that might help. I might need it because I also have Pranabundu, which lets me reroll a single d20 on anything that I'm doing that relies on control of my body. So if one of my dice is a fail, I can reroll it. Let's see here. So I have 2 dice. It would be 3 momentum to purchase 2 more dice.
Sure. Works for me. Works for everyone else.
I'm rolling 4.
I mean, this is a clutch enough kind of thing. Like, this is just my 2
Use it
cents,
all.
but like, I feel like if you want to spend all 6 to get 3 dice, I'm kind of okay with it.
I'm fine with it.
If y'all are cool with it, I will do it. She's very
And it's
determined
also-
to
You have a
open
chance
this
to spend
door.
all 6, so spend them.
All right,
All right.
I'll do it. So let me see here. So I'm gonna have 5 dice, not 55, just 5.
Holy crap.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Reza, also roll your die to assist.
Do I just roll
Might as well.
like just a 1d20?
Yep, 1d20, and it'll be based on your let's see here.
Communicate
so-
is usually.
Yeah, communicate, because you're definitely like trying to distract and bluff. So I won't say you communicate. Neither your focuses really work here. But yeah, communicate is what you're rolling, and then I'll let you choose whatever your drives applies there. All right. Ooh,
20.
a complication, but that's okay.
So I might have distracted them, but not in a good way.
Nice. All right, so you have 5 successes. So you actually made 1 more, and so Reza, you contributed. So like what was your plan? Like what was your distraction that you were doing?
I was just going to try to sing like a loud, long note just so people would like turn around and like be like, what the and like look at me. That way she could kind of get around them a little faster. But I figure maybe I just got like a frog in my throat and it comes
Be sick instead of actually singing.
exactly. My nerves
All right.
were so much.
Nice. I'm gonna take the threat on that one. So it brings me to a whole 3 threat. Woohoo! I'm just rolling in the threat now. So yeah, and I describe what you do. You definitely succeeded.
I mean, I think Naya moves so quickly that she's effectively just a blur of motion. I think she does this. So, like, when we came in, were we on, like, a landing or something, or were we on the same
Yeah.
level?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like on a landing coming down to that first floor.
So, I love to think that she very gracefully, like, slides down the banister or something like that, like, just for fun. And that, or maybe not slide, but maybe she actually, like, runs down the banister and then takes, like, a nice leap off of it at the bottom. And that gets her like a little extra lift in distance and a little closer to the door. And so she only has to like dodge a few people who are too busy looking at Reza before she actually can get to the keypad. And that's quick. Like even a 10-digit number is not hard or slow to do when you've got it in your hand. And so she will open the door and hearing all of the locks unlatch, I assume, on the backside of this door. And then I don't know, how quickly does it open, I guess, is the question.
That is the question.
Without
isn't
one
it?
hinge.
without hinges. So let's put a pin in that, and we'll be coming back to this. This is going to be a very interesting post unlocking scene here. They're all interesting, of course. Yep, you're correct. Thank you. Jonathan reminded me that we did have one over, So let's get
I try to
momentum
put
back.
stuff like that in the chat just so I'm not interrupting people's, voice.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so now you have 1 momentum. You're coming back. And also, I just want to note, I believe this also gives you all an extra advancement point at the end. I believe you successfully did a difficulty of 5 thing. So keep that in mind. Another reason I wanted to kind of bring that up. So Castian, you and your small squad have kind of circled around. You've kind of seen people in like in the smoke, like going past. It's hard to tell like what's going on. You're assuming that there are like the soldiers you encountered were all kind of protecting the front. So these are more like technicians or something like that, or just people that are kind of flailing in and out. You kind of catch glimpses of them through the smoke, and you can see they're not wearing soldiers' uniforms. They're not even carrying weapons in the quick little snippets you get of seeing them. They're definitely some kind of workers that are just freaking out that their places. First, there's freaking crushers dropped on them. This does not happen every day. Secondly, there's like smoke everywhere, debris. There's screams. A lot of stuff going on, and they're not in that big protective complex that they really would love as heck to be in. However, as you were kind of coming around the side, you do see several people who seem to be having their heads on tight. These are also workers. You see a couple going in and out of this kind of doorway in the back. As you kind of get closer, you're kind of creeping out of the mist at this point. You see that these are kind of workers, and they're using they're going through a pentashield. So anyone going through that, it has a disassembler. So you can kind of see them coming in and out, and they're gathering people and stuff like that.
Cut them off, kill them, and take their disassemblers.
The plan has been formulated. So what are you going to do? Yeah, these people don't look like soldiers. They do look like technicians or in the trenches type of workers and that kind of thing. What is your plan? What does Castian do?
I'm going to send a couple to sort of like, sneak along the edge of the wall, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to, come out of the mist, and try and keep their attention and, offer them a choice to either, surrender now or be killed.
Okay. I'm imagining you're probably also, as you come out of the smoke, the mist, kind of blocking their way. So it's like they may, do you want to bet you can make it past me? Are you sure? Or
my nice big sword, sort of in the way, and
big sword with blood on it, fresh blood.
Which does have a trait of intimidating.
It does have the trait of intimidating. Let's do it. This is definitely an intimidate roll if ever I saw one. So let's look at
what is intimidate. Is that discipline or?
Yeah, that'll be discipline. So it looks like neither of your focuses really fit here for the actual intimidation thing. What is your drive? What are you looking at?
Technically, the acid makes it slightly easier, but I'm gonna go with. I'm definitely putting my faith in the role I'm taking here, because there's a number of guards there. They could easily overwhelm me by themselves, assuming they could get through the shield. So whoever pursues righteousness will find righteousness.
Works for me. Cool. All right. And I'm going to say it'll be easier because of your intimidation, the intimidate on your sword itself. So let me set some stakes for you real quick. Let's see here. These are just normal folks. It's going to be like I'm going to say like an 11. Let's see how we do. One success. All right, so your difficulty is 1, and you've made it your intimidation of your sword basically drawn on that makes it easier. So we're down to a 0. Wow. You guys are impressive.
I am going to
You're
use
kind of taking on untrained folk.
I'm going to use the 1 momentum anyways because they really need us to find an inn here.
Okay. So you want to spend 1 momentum for an extra die? Yes? Okay. All right, done. Done, sir. Let's see what you got. Oh, you just roll it. Sorry. All right. Cool. So 2 successes. That brings us back up.
Because it's assumed that we are getting their pentashields, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you kind
disassemblers.
Yep. Yeah. So you kind of do your your spiel, like you maybe you can make it past me, maybe you can't. The last guy thought so. Their blood is dripping from my blade, and that kind of thing. And you see this guy again. He's a worker. He's probably higher up. He's this guy in particular has like less grime on him than everyone else on his coveralls, and he just kind of stops and he looks at you, looks at the sword, and he like. Stops his group. It's one of those things where it's like a Three Stooges. They come out of the mist, not being able to see him, and like slam into him. He buckles forward, and like suddenly he like the other 2 who just bumped into him see you guys. He's like, okay, just throw down the pentashield, the assemblers, and let's get out of here. It's not worth it. They take out these little, they look like little octagonal like disc like things. They're white in color, like ivory, and 3 guys toss it on the ground and then just run back into the smoke, and you likely will never see them again.
I will pick up 2 of them, hand them to the guys, 1 smart, 1 tough. Just in case we need to, putting hardware stuff on the other side. I'm not, a shield expert here, so.
Excellent.
And we're going to go in.
All right. Are you leading or are they leading?
I'm going to lead.
Excellent. I'm not asking for marching order. This is not Dungeons and Dragons. Just want to get an idea what's going on. Awesome. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you guys go in. You've been through a pentashield before. Again, as long as you have the dissembler on you, you basically go through without any resistance whatsoever. And next thing you know, you're running through those corridors like I described. They're, it's black, black smooth steel, just like it is on the outside. Not a whole lot of aesthetic value here. It's very, utilitarian and everything. And there we are. So yeah, you find yourselves kind of running, in on the first floor. I'm going to say you're this place is small enough where you're actually hearing a bunch of, clatter of things and people talking, and you kind of use your mental math and, oh yeah, they're by the door we're trying to break into. Meanwhile, at the door, Inaya and Reza, you're up on the landing coming down from the second floor, and there has to be like a dozen soldiers down there who are just befuddled at this point. This they're thinking so many things. Again, these are soldiers. It's like, okay, so they have explosive probably. They're gonna destroy the door. No, they're gonna lasgun it, and then we're all gonna explode because my shield is on. I can't take it down. I don't want to be vulnerable. And then because if they do blow it up, then I die. And you can it's like, okay, and then we're gonna rush out there and we're gonna stabby, and all these and what happens? This woman flips in down the banister, zips over, enters a key code, and then turns around, and all these soldiers are flat-footed. This was not what they expected. And Reza, what do you do?
Well, going back to my original question, how quickly does the door open?
It's not open yet. You can hear things unlocking. It seems like the one. It's like it's not a Rube Goldstein type of thing, but it's still very like you hit the one thing and you can hear like clickety clack, lock, snap, around the circumference of it. So things are still going as all the soldiers are kind of around you. And Reza, are you doing anything at this point? They're like
trying to wipe some of the puke off from when I tried to sing at the moment.
Yeah, half the soldiers are looking at you, half are looking at Anaya, the acrobat or whatever that just this is not what I expected type of thing.
I think Anaya, I like hearing the mechanisms as this door is unlocking, even though it's going slowly. She'll start talking because that's what she does best. And she will stand in front of them, and it'll start out as like a really inspirational thing, and she'll be like, "Soldiers of House Nestor," and like very like patriotic, like something cool is coming, and like she might say like a few motivating words, and then by the end of it, like she's basically stalling for time while the door is unlocking, and then when she finally starts to hear the locks coming apart, she'll say, I have an order for you. Run." Like just as the door is opening behind her.
So Reza, again, I have to imagine Reza is like, I gotta write this down. This is really good stuff, for my next performance.
Well, I figure from the other end of the room where she is, like she's hearing Inara's speech, and like the words that Reza happens to know in the Nestor battle language, she just kind of repeats out loud, like another word behind whoever it is, like kind of help emphasize what she's saying, sort of thing, but in the battle language to help rile people up. I don't know.
Oh wow, that is so cool. I'm hesitant to even make that a roll because it's so darn cool. It makes so much sense. I'm going to say, they're so startled at this point, and that success we're coming off of definitely feeds into it. And yeah, Reza just coming up with that is so just on point. It's exactly what those soldiers needed to hear. And so right as Anaya says, "Run." And she's like, and here's where Anaya is taken aback. She's like expecting like, the doors to open up, and in reality, what happens is it falls outward. It's like, and it's like, oh crap. And when the smoke clears, you probably see Jindo's face poking in, with Kinjals in hand.
Perfect. Turn around to Jindo and I say, "What took you so long?"
All right, so we're almost to our halfway point. So because this is going to get very, very interesting, is that the right word? Very shortly, we're about to have they're coming from the front, they're coming from behind, we're trapped in between, we're all done. We'll see how that all turns out. But yeah, let's do our 10-minute break. We'll come back and we'll see how Team Castian and Team Resindo does their thing. I think that works, right? No, okay. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, we'll figure out how that all works, and I will see y'all in 10. Be right back. All right, back from break. Cool. So yeah, all hell's just about to break loose. Let's start with Castian. Your group is on the first floor, kind of moving forward. Are you planning to continue doing that? Do you want to go to the second floor? Or are you gonna basically you hear the mass of you probably actually sense like the rumble of that big door falling, and then just a bunch of noise, battle noise. What is Castian and your group doing?
So I want to support the first floor with that combat, because they're going to be facing, probably superior numbers, and having a basically an arrow of attackers in the back will help that clean up real quick. And then we know we're getting info. We know we're getting it from a vault. I don't have a lasgun with me, so.
Excellent. Yeah, you're definitely, anyone who tries to retreat will be basically pushed into you, or you'll advance on them before they get a chance to retreat, and they have a two-front fight where they have nowhere else to go. Cool. So we're actually going to put you pretty much, I don't want to say the same zone. I don't want to do zones for this. I think there's going to be a whole bunch of little skirmishes type thing going on. So you definitely run towards it. How many guys? I see you have the other two guys who were able to get in through the pentashield with you.
If the pentashield did not have a disarm switch on this side, then I would just have those 3. If there's any sort of off button,
right. If there was, it's better concealed than you care to spend time to look at it right now. That type of thing.
Then it would just be the 3 of us.
Cool. Yeah, so they're in triangle formation. Castian leading the charge. In the front, we have Jindo poking the door and getting the barb from Anaya, how inefficient his attack was. It took him for what took
I can only fuck things up so quickly.
Anaya is still in the midst of a bunch of soldiers. This is not the scene that Jindo expected once the door came down. Oh, there's Anaya standing in the middle of a bunch of soldiers holding knives. Oh, and over there, as I peer in, there's Reza up on a freaking stairwell. How'd Reza get here? So who wants to do what? Let's figure this out. And you're in the most danger right now. You have a knife, and you're in the center of a bunch of the bunch of these soldiers who are now either running or thinking of maybe stabbing you. That kind of thing. Feeling cute might stab a BG.
I would like to get out of the way now and let the professional soldiers do their jobs.
All right. Are you basically gonna do another move out of the way type of thing?
Sure. If that is what you would like me to do, I would happily roll for that. She just really wanted to be the one to open the door, but now she wants to get out of the doorway as quickly as possible.
All right. Okay. Cool. Let's do an oppose. Let's see how you do against the soldier. I'll set stakes again. This is gonna be a 13. And you know what? Just for kicks, I'm going to spend one of my threats and add a die to that. So let's see how I do. Rolling the dice. Looks like 3 successes. So let's take a look at what you got. Anaya?
For me.
Would there be any way that I could maybe help direct a charge in to sort of distract or help cover her escape?
Sure, absolutely.
We call that helping or assisting or something.
Yeah, that would be an assist for her. So you're just trying to get out of the way, so we'll call it a move if that works.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Cool. And I'm assuming, let's see, we're here power again or something else?
Yeah, I think it's going to be power, because even though her power statement is I refuse to fall into obscurity, death is obscurity, therefore she is going to not stand in the place where she's going to die. She's not going and running and hiding, but she's just getting out of the way.
Sure.
So I think I'll keep that. And I will spend one of our momentum to pick up an extra die, because I have to get 3 successes and my focus isn't going to help me here.
That's good.
And I rolled a 1. So I actually have 4 successes, I think, because a 14 still counts as a success, since that was the score that I needed to achieve.
Nice.
So
All right, go ahead and Jindo, why don't you roll your assist? So I'm assuming it'll be like, do you think it'll be a battle move? You're kind of like ordering your troops in to kind of do the thing, or?
Right. I mean, that's what I see it as, is the Gildrun battle speech and just issuing that order with urgency.
All right, go for it.
So are we calling that strategy, or is this just a straight roll without focus?
Let's see here.
Do you even get focuses on helping? Probably not. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes, you do. You definitely do.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, so it'll be like, let's see here. Let's call it battle, and yeah, it's definitely it's strategy. You're specifically looking for this outcome of, strategically, maneuvering these people to not attack your, not ready for combat teammate.
Yeah.
What do you use for your drive?
Let's use duty, because there are other people involved, specifically, other people from Gildrun. So, people are the true strength of a house. That sounds like duty to me. And if it's possible to use the battle speech to also be like, friendly wearing enemy colors, basically, or whatever would be the terse, combat speech version of that, to point out Reza.
Gotcha.
Like,
sure.
Don't shoot that one.
Don't shoot that one. All right.
Just look for the one with the puke on the front. You're good.
Yeah. Go ahead and
The
make
t-shirt
your roll your 1d20 to assist, and we'll see how you do. And let's see. So 8, 16. Oh wow, nice.
We have six
what is
successes.
it? Yeah, so 1.
It's a crit. So
2. Yeah, so it's 2, and then
I had
3,
4,
4, 5, 6. Wow. Good job. Good job. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, that'll do it. And let's see that. So that's 4 above, 3 above, 3 above. Cool. So let's give you back that momentum. And nice. Cool. So yeah, Anaya, tell us what does that look like? So you can do that.
So she looks out the door, she says this thing to Jindo, and then I think she probably like turns a nice little pirouette and then like ducks behind cover, like right around the exterior edge of the door, so that she's like out of the way, but like pretty firmly behind the ranks of the Gildrun soldiers.
Gotcha. Reza, what are you doing? You're right there.
Probably heading towards sorry, I lost sound or something.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. The sound in the background. No, she's probably going to try to get through the crowd down to I guess where Inara and Jindo and everybody is. I figure kind of a rallying point for us to get back together.
Okay. Are you just looking to get through? You're basically going to be attacked as you go by. Probably. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're in their uniform. They think you're one of them. Yeah, go ahead and let's do a move roll and see how you do. I'm just going to set some stakes quick.
Okay.
And let's see. We'll call that difficulty of 2 to get down there kind of unharmed.
Okay, so move, and I'll do like a duty. Says I know my responsibilities, and that's to get back with my team.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. You gonna spend any momentum or anything?
I spend 1. Since it's a difficulty of 2, you said?
Yes. All right, do the thing. Right on the money. Cool. Yeah. So it's probably this effect of like they're like, oh yeah, we have reinforcements, right up until the point where you like run past their front ranks. And you're like, she's a hero. She's this all these emotions going through these soldiers' head. She's just running out there, so valorous. So wait a second, she's like forming ranks with the enemy. Wait a second.
And Reza runs and jumps and hugs Jindo around the neck.
Oh my god!
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm going to say the fast Reza is repelled by the shield as she runs into him.
I'm okay with this.
So yes, so yeah. The next thing you know, this squad mate of theirs is on the other side. Like you can kind of see, like at least one of their faces is like, was that an option? Can we all do this? Type of thing in their eyes as you're kind of squaring off. Let's see here, Jindo. What are you doing now that you've been bounced around?
So, could I seize on that, like that look? If I notice that sort of like, wait a minute, that was an option kind of thing. Like, can I seize on that and try to, basically just, a show of force? We have, literal las guns here. Not that we're going to use them on, shielded troops, but like you are outgunned, you are outnumbered. Lay down your arms, like force a surrender, basically.
Ooh.
Give them a chance to surrender before being, obliterated.
Yeah, so I'm taking into account the fact that they are well aware that you've wiped out their other troops on the outside, like 4 other freaking squads that are about their size or bigger. I'm still going to say that's a difficulty like 4 type of thing.
And I would like to help, since the area they're running away from, has people, screaming, a Gildrun battle language behind them.
Oh, nice. If you feel like you would be there already, I can say you definitely come into view with your other 2 guys. Is that something you wanted to do?
Sure.
Excellent. All right, Jindo, let's go for it. Let's see if we can convince these people to lay down arms.
This isn't gonna go great. This is communicate, right?
Yeah. So it'll be let's see here.
It's my lowest stat.
Yep, communicate.
That's similar to an intimidate roll, though, that I was using with discipline.
Oh, you know what? I suppose that's true. You basically, you are. You are threatening them. So let's call it.
He's not presenting a convincing argument. He's, yelling something at them to see if they'll break.
I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not trying to give them rhetoric. It's
right. No. Make a very good point. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely an intimidation. So you're correct. That'd be definitely discipline. So let's go discipline. I don't think any of your traits really help you out here. Yeah, nothing on your assets either. But what are you looking for drive?
I think just power. This is very much like trying to be a show of force and trying to be this sort of. I don't think it's about honor. It's about like you have a chance to live, and I'm the one giving it to you. So either way, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds perfect. All right,
okay.
Go for it. And if you get at least 1 success, you can get some assistance from Castian.
Okay, I'm probably gonna buy some dice. So
sure.
Since I need 4 successes for this.
Yep.
Is everybody okay if I spend the 3 momentum we have to buy 2 dice?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's really fuck it up. All right.
What's your discipline you're using?
My discipline is 5. So
Here
not the best.
We go. Agree. Let's see. Yeah, you don't have a focus in this, so
yeah, I don't have a focus, so it's a flat 3.
But we can do this one of 2 ways. I can use bolster to allow you to re-roll that using my discipline score at the cost of 2 threat to the GM. Or I can try and help, and it's, entirely luck of the 1 die.
I guess in that instance, well, no,
You need
I
one
guess,
success to do this.
right. We need one
one
success.
extra
You just need 1 success? Okay.
Yeah. To me, it's like I would think like, well, what would Castian's impulse there be, like to jump in and help, or to use that bolster? I guess, like, how would that be different than helping? I guess, or it's just a more specialized, better version of that.
Yeah, I think more likely to use bolster on people who I don't consider as well trained as you are. But I think it would be more the original route of my actual help roll. Better for worse.
Go for it.
Cool.
So let's take a look.
So am I doing that with... am I still doing an intimidate as well?
Sure, yeah, let's call that a discipline.
Going to be calling out, battle language to imply that there's more people back here than just one.
Sure, yeah. Discipline sounds good for that.
Okay. Then I think this is a great use of duty. Duty is ours, but the consequences are God's. How this plays out is really how this is going to play out.
All right. Let's see how we do.
That's a duty. Discipline.
Survey says.
Die. Oh,
wow. And it's a critical. So you got
Nicely done.
5 successes. So you'd actually have momentum back. All right. So why don't you both tell me what that looks like? That sounds pretty cool.
So I think I basically tell, do the show of force, like, look, you are outgunned, you are outmanned, you have no hope of winning. You might have a hope of living. And like, I'm not convincing all of them. And then I think that's when Castian comes in and sort of like seals it, like cinches it up.
Yeah, so, I'm, screaming battle languages that come in from the rear, and also, like, making sure that my sword, as I swing it, hits, a couple, pillars or columns, just to, imply, like, a greater amount of, people and force, and, there people might already be engaged back here, and, like, how did they get behind us type thing.
Cool. Yeah, so you kind of see like there's this initial resistance. They might not be elite soldiers, but they're soldiers. But yeah, things are just looking so overwhelming. This is the last of the forces protecting this place, and why at this point. So you like the kind of like the stoic, the most battle hardened guy in the front. He kind of like has that fighter's crouched. He's facing off with Jindo on, and then he's just kind of like, you can see his eyes through that blur of the shield. Pardon me. And you can see his eyes flick to Reza. It's like there's a part of him that suddenly realizes, yeah, that we were ahead before this even began, type of thing. And you see him like kneel, put one knee on the ground and put down his blade, and then he flips out the holster and puts down the stunner pistol that he had, and he kind of does some quick gestures, and the others kind of hesitate for just a split second and do the same. There's like there's like a dozen people at this point. And you could see there was like the 3 of them were about to like get the heck out of Dodge and take their chances getting through the rear pentashield or whatever. But as they hear that clink and clank and the battle language, that's when they kind of freeze and decide that surrender is actually not a horrible option in this case. And they do so. And it's about that time the remainder of your troops have swiped up, the last squad out there, and now your numbers are reinforced. So this place is at this point yours. You are all now in control of this complex. What do you do?
I want to give orders to basically, spread out, secure the place, look for any survivors, and basically make, whatever our protocol would be for like prisoners of war, I guess. To be interrogated at a future date.
To be interrogated. Well, David will kind of take the lead on that, I think, and he'll have each of the soldiers lays down their arms, they also deactivate their shields, and he uses that opportunity to kind of like put a boot into one of their backs and flop them forward, and before you know it, they're all flopped on their chests and being restrained. Weapon belts removed. Small pile of weapons now growing, that kind of thing. Inaya, are you popping out from undercover?
Now that things are safe again, I will come back out from underneath. I'll come back into like the foyer area as we're taking the House Nestor folks prisoner.
Gotcha. Yeah, like you guys are all in control now, so you can do and go wherever you want at this point, with impunity. Everyone that was armed is now unarmed. You're the kind of the troops that just reinforced you swept in and found any straggler civilians that were there and took them prisoner as well, if you will, and brought them up to where the troops are, and they're now in a similar position being restrained. And now you're the kind of like the remainder of Castian's squad when he was with the original attack is now basically flanking out with both Jindo and Castian as they go. Reza, what are you doing? What's your role at this point?
I figure I'm kind of getting my top and my vest and stuff like that kind of pulled off and walking around in nothing but like the undershirt and pants and like combat boots sort of thing, trying to find somebody who's about my size that I could steal their shirt to wear instead, since mine had puke all over it. And I'm just kind of going around and double checking, making sure people are secure. And I figure like the one guy who may have been the topmost soldier on this side that I had duped rather well, I just kind of give him a bit of a smirk and a wink and kind of just keep wandering around checking. Yeah,
he's probably about, he's a little bulkier than you, but he's your size-ish.
Okay, so I steal his jacket.
Yeah, so Reza's now walking around with like, officers' epaulets, that type of thing from the Nestor standing army.
It's just fodder for the disguise kit.
Yeah, it just keeps growing.
There's nothing wrong with this.
All right. All right. Tell me what you guys are doing. Castian, what is there like a group goal here? Are we going right for that vault? What are we doing here?
I'm thinking, I'm the security force or, the person, keeping an eye on everyone's back as, Jindo takes, the lead on getting the vault open.
Okay. So so is Castian falling back to his protector mode? Now you're just making sure like Reza and Anaya, who are, not necessarily combatants yet, are kind of watched over.
And, and I'm, very intimately familiar with, the layout of, both, facilities and, residences and such. So, I think I'm just, making sure that people are looking in the right spots, where would I leave an assassin behind, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. But just to clarify, you're sticking with Anaya and Reza, yes?
Yeah. It's probably the people who need the most actual physical protection.
Cool.
And I go up to Jindo, and I guess probably with now Castian kind of hovering sort of a few steps behind as well, and say, there's no point chasing the Lord of the House. He's long gone. We should move directly to the vault and get what we came for.
Any idea where that vault might be?
Do I?
Reza knows.
Reza knows.
She goes on point.
And I'll just turn and look at Reza.
This way, guys.
Excellent.
So, you okay, Anaya?
Oh, I'm fine. He didn't want...
Like, Jindo probably knows better than to ask that question of you, but...
Yeah. No, she's not giving anything away, but she says, no, I'm quite fine. I had a lovely conversation with Lord Nestor. And then he left. And then I came here.
It's very informative, I'm sure.
It was very informative. I
Excellent.
think he knew this was a lost cause. And when she says this, she'll like gesture around the room.
All right.
Did Nestor strike you as the type of person to leave something behind?
This seemed to be part of his plan, and he counted on us getting in here. I don't think he will have left anything intended to actually kill us. I think he will have left behind the things that would be considered usual for a house member.
Gotcha. So, okay. So we probably still go forward with like the snoopers and things like that still on alert, but I think we kind of take that and move forward towards that vault.
Okay. And of course, like I said, Reza is leading the way, if you will, having the lay of the land. So you get to the vault room, and it's actually like a room in itself. It's, again, everything is very utilitarian. There's no decoration, no nothing. You walk in the room, and there's a couple built-in like tables, as you might have outside any other vault for like, okay, we'll take this out, examine the thing, put it back in, whatever. Castian, can you please make me a discipline roll with your espionage focus?
Okay. So that's how I closed the game table.
I'm assuming you'd use whatever is appropriate to drive, probably. That's a good one. Duty, maybe.
Yeah, I'd be thinking either my duty or my justice, but duty might sound a little bit better than this. Espionage focus. Yes. Are there stakes?
There are.
Do I have a target that I'm trying to roll here? Determines whether I spend momentum.
I won't tell you. I won't tell you at the moment.
I'll spend one momentum just because.
Yeah, we have it. All right, go for it.
Successes.
Perfect. Let's see. Let's take that momentum. All right. Perfect. So, as the kind of, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to switch over to the Roll20 for the stream to see that. But as you're kind of you go into the room, you see these things. There does seem to be like the most subtle of pressure plates right near where like the door mechanism is. It's like something that's made to look like like one of like these otherwise kind of smooth plates. They're every now and then they're patched. You've seen, and it's kind of made to look like a patch. But in actuality, you can kind of see your trained protector eye sees the ridges of it. And
So
it's
I imagine
definitely danger.
So I imagine, I catch it just about as someone's about to, step on it. And I just, and, maybe, hopefully it's not Jindo, but, I shoulder them out of the way, with my shield just to, make sure that they don't step on that plate. And then, and I point down, like, there's a pressure plate, and I sort of outline it. And I assume it's, like, all the way in front of the door or something, or...
It's like
or something that can be moved around.
Yeah, it's kind of position where like someone could comfortably stand if they were manipulating the opening mechanism of it.
Right. This is just for the people who aren't familiar with it.
So yeah, Jindo, your lasgun guy, is obviously following behind, and he's like, but when he gets in, he kind of sees you stopped by Castian and kind of casts this questioning glance over. He just like, shoulder checked the his boss basically. There's this look, there's a second of look like, do I shoot him?
Shield up.
Oh shoot! Okay, yeah.
No,
God.
fucking stop.
He flunked combat signs. And then and now we roll up new characters.
The B team. All right. Yeah, I basically just call the squad to a halt and use the battle language to point out a trap. And you said this is in front of the vault door.
It's in front of the
mechanism?
controls. The mechanism controls to open said vault, which you actually guys aren't really going to do, but it's something like it would be again. Jindo probably would have checked it out anyway. Like, do we need to las it if it's unlocked? You don't want to be that guy. So yeah, wouldn't that be just a
blindly lazzing all over the place? Nope, don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, do we? I kind of not defer, but like kind of questioning Castian. Like, what do you think? Should we just blast through it or try to disarm it? Any idea what it actually sets off? Kind of looking around the room.
No idea. It could just be extra lighting, but it's most likely a trap. So I would recommend, using the las gun through, because I'm looking around like, could be gas. Who knows what it would set off.
That's fair. And I call out to Reza if she's around. Any idea from your time here what this might be?
No, I never actually got this far.
Las gun it is.
Yeah, the guy kind of takes a position, waits for everyone to clear out of the way. Obviously, you don't want to slip and nuke everyone. So once everyone is out, but behind him, out of the line of fire, you hear that snap zap of the las gun, and he's trained with this. There's a reason he was las gun guy, and that's not his name. But he kind of hits like a portion of it, and at one point he pretty much does like once he kind of gets his bearing on where the beam is hitting the door, he does a quick circle, and you just see the door just fall. This thing was easily like 3 feet thick of some version of steel, and he's even lased it so that it like has a nice angle, so it actually falls out instead of just sits there. And unfortunately, he does not take into account the whole, there was that pressure plate there, and I'm going to say I actually will likely, and I'm going to actually spend my. I suppose I can't do that. I don't have 2 threat, so I won't do that. Let's backtrack on that. I don't have the threat to spend to do that. I needed 1 more, and you guys didn't give it to me, you bastards. But yeah, so the door comes out.
Isn't there something in the game that's like, if you think that there's like escalation, you can kind of create threat, sort of thing? Like, not to give you more, firepower. I'm just saying, like.
Oh no, there is that, but it's more like and whereas that is there, I want to reserve that for more like either a whole new squad of troops just came on the scene type of thing. Whereas no, you make a really good point. And what I was looking to do is there's a momentum spend I can make to put a new trade in place so that do the 2. But anyway, I don't have enough, so that is just fine. Door slides. There's another huge just clang as this piece of steel, contact steel, and you're looking into a vault. There's stuff in there. This is not you aren't seeing gold bars or anything. You're seeing off to the sides, and like there's as you look in the back of it, there's actually scorch marks from the las gun as this as it pierced through. And that kind of thing. So it's probably like a rack or 2 has been like disintegrated a bit. But there are racks all around the circumference of this small vault. It's probably like, I would say 15 by 15 feet by 15 feet. So 5 by 5 meter type thing. Enough to kind of, hold some stuff without being what we would call voluminous. But yeah, there's racks of stuff. There's items. You see, like the standard, like sugar wire holders and stuff like that. So there's stuff in there to look at. That the item that you were tasked to find, Anaya, and subsequently, the other guys, it would have been marked with like a sugar wire reel with like a blue marking on it with like a delta symbol, which is not difficult to find.
Yeah, I'll go hunting for it.
Okay, Anaya, since this is a new scene, did you want to look for anything?
Yeah, so I want to look for that, but for my passive scrutiny, outside of that, which is what we came for, and at a quick cursory glance, what here looks to be the most valuable, whether that value is monetary or manipulative, for lack of a better word.
Gotcha. I'm going to say, just by, what this would gain you, I would say is, nothing superhumanly observational, but you do see there is, and it's actually, pardon me, also trigger Reza's notice. You swear to goodness that's like, it looks to be like a glass gallon vat of what you would swear is juice of Safu, but like that's a lot. That's like a lifetime's worth in there. But that's definitely worth something, and it's definitely out of place.
Well, I suppose that makes sense since he was a very intense mentat. I'll go find what we came for, but as I walk past the vat of Safu, I'll point at it and say something. Whoever's closest, if it's Reza or Jindo or Castian, and just say, we should take that with us when we go.
Just keep it away from me since I'm allergic.
That's fine, but I think that might help the house defray some of the costs of transporting all these troops.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see here. So the sugar wire reel is easy enough to find. There's, I can say for certain there isn't any like security inside. The vault was supposed to be the thing that kept things safe, or the compound getting up to it, etc., etc. So yeah, you find the sugar wire without too much trouble, and you see there's actually, strangely, as you kind of take it out of its like case that it's held in, wrapped around the back of it is looks like a note, and it says from House Nestor to House Gildrun, enjoy.
I'll pick it up and turn back to Jindo and say, "See, I told you he planned for us to be here."
This is all your, and I kind of just gesture at you and Reza collectively, like, this is all your domain. I don't I don't know what to make of people like him.
Actually means us any harm. I think he is beholden to a baron who would be displeased if he simply rolled over.
Doesn't it seem like he kind of just rolled over, though? I mean, we took this place without much problem. I don't know.
Castian's all like, "What?"
Castian's cleaning the blood off his blade.
Yeah, I'll look over at Castian and be like, "I think he put up enough of a fight to be able to make a reasonable argument to his baron."
Looks back at trail of bodies. Yeah, that's you make a convincing point.
Could have been better defended.
Yes, certainly. All right. So yeah, as you have what you came for, you kind of there's the troops you kind of sent around to secure the place. Like their section heads are now reporting back to you all. They kind of report to Jindo, Castian. The two guys that were with you probably also went off under your orders and are coming back, and they don't have a whole lot to really report. The most special thing about this place was that vault. However, Jindo, one of your guys, isn't coming back. It's like David's like, yeah, we were checking out what appeared to be a torture chamber, and when we left, Corin dropped like a sack of rocks. I found punctures in his hand. He was poisoned by a needle. But the room itself was secured otherwise.
I mean, we probably planned for something like this, or at least it's not surprising, I guess, to encounter something like that, especially on Gady Prime. Yeah, I just, whatever our standard, kind of like, are we recovering bodies here? Are we trying to be covert about this? Because I don't think we're being that covert, but yeah, if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. So, yeah, I think we just try to, proceed with a little bit more care than we normally would have after that.
Yeah, David kind of looks to Castian. Would I be able to borrow your expertise?
Absolutely.
And so Castian, I'm sorry, David, he's like, it wasn't a nice poison either, so please stay put. And he kind of, you can see that there's the hesitancy in his voice to say such a thing to his commander, but he's like, this is protocol, this is for safety. And next thing you know, David's off with Castian kind of making the rounds to various doors. Again, the question is, how long do you want to stay here? The Crushers are ready to take you back into the Highliner that brought you. So it's a matter of when it's time to cut and run and that kind of thing. So I'll let you all decide that. Reza, with you having kind of been here for so long, again, I want to say so long. This wasn't like a deep cover operation or anything, but you're here long enough to learn some stuff. Is there anything that you can think of that you'd want to bring along or tap or get or whatever?
Honestly, nothing off the top of my head.
Gotcha. And that makes sense because yes, truly the most important part of this place was its fault. I just wanted to give you the option to, if there's something that you might have thought had tickled Reza's fancy, that type of thing.
No, I think I'm good. I figure I came in with nothing but my disguise. I could leave with nothing but my
your new uniform disguise.
Yeah.
another disguise piece. Excellent. Anaya, what are you up to in this last part here?
Finishing, securing everything. Anaya would go look to see if Nestor had an office and if he left anything behind in said office that would be of interest.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you kind of see, okay, so let's see, this is the interrogation room is over here. Right next to it looks like maybe something, okay, that makes sense, is maybe an office. And it's like, it just like the rest of it, there's nothing special. There's nothing really interesting there. It looks like he kept as meticulous a desk as anything else. There is a small vial there. And if Inaya takes any time at all to look at it, she'll see that, yes, it's more Safu. Probably taken from the vat that she discovered, y'all discovered in the vault. But it's like, it's the only thing left there, and it's left very meticulously. Like if you were to take this rectangular desk and draw a line from far corner to far corner, it would have met in that exact X. That type of thing.
Can I check the desk for any kind of hidden compartment?
Sure.
Just out of curiosity.
Why not? Let's see here.
Be understand, discipline.
Let's say discipline for this one, because again, this is more like focused scrutiny type of thing you're doing here.
Then I will use truth for this one because she's trying to see if she can find something interesting here. Is there an associated difficulty? Not that we have any momentum right
now. I'll keep this one secret for now.
Ooh.
Generally, I don't do secret rolls, but make it interesting at least for this section of the adventure.
Well, I have no successes, so
no successes to speak.
I don't find anything.
If you still have determination, you could re-roll if you want.
I'm not that I got enough out of this as far as what I need, so I'm not going to push it.
Fair enough. All right. Cool. So at this point, is everyone kind of regrouping and getting back to the Crushers, or what's your plan?
Get me off of this planet, please.
Get me off of this planet.
Rolling out.
Yeah, I think once we've kind of secured everything of value and get everybody back to the Crushers.
Okay. You see, as you're kind of humping back to the Crushers, David has the dead man over his shoulder. As you go, the other soldiers are collecting their dead. There weren't many casualties, but there were.
I help out. like I'll help them, get them back.
Yeah, you can like fireman's carry over the shoulder, that kind of thing. But yeah, the smoke is finally, ironically, the smoke is pretty much cleared by this time, and mostly because the people setting him off had no more need for him. Any smoke to diffuse the situation or whatever, or camouflage anything. You pretty much cross this, like, again, in any other, like, sci-fi world of combat, this would be like a horrible kill zone. Oh, let's run across this, football field size swath of land to get to. It has no real cover beyond a machine here and there to get back. But this is the Duneverse, where ranged weaponry is pretty not worth anything, especially at the ranges we're talking here. So yeah, you cross this, and next thing you know, you're in the crushers. Doors close, pressurize, and you feel those who have been in such a thing, even in a simulation, kind of feel that kind of like that elevator feel when the elevator slows down suddenly. You feel that kind of like in reverse as you're lifted off, yeah, you're basically, you kind of see the as you kind of get higher and higher, you see like the curve of Gidi Prime. Once you get that high, next thing you know, you're in its, stratosphere, exosphere, and, the crusher's technology takes over, and you have some gravity, but otherwise you're swooped up into this highliner, which not ironically is not like, this is not like a Millennium Falcon type of save. This is the guild. You're now in a guild ship. You're pretty much protected. So the crusher gets swooped up by the guild highliner, which stays in orbit because it has other things to pick up off Gidi Prime. And the guild is like the honey badger of the universe in this sense, and that it doesn't give a shit, because anyone wants to mess with them, they just don't get it to transport anything ever again. So that kind of thing. Good times, not had by all on Gidi Prime. Cool. So I have some stuff in planned for next session, but this session I'm going to end. You're back on the Gildrun homeworld, Urbos, and pretty much as a group you've been debriefed. This time not by like the ranking individual himself, but actually themselves. Excuse me, but by like a kind of like a lower level individual, just kind of taking your reports, more of a paper pusher in the espionage community. And as you're leaving, you're kind of striding down the hall of the main, Gildrun fort, castle, whatever you want to call it. And you're approached by a page bearing several what looks like scrolls on his little plate that he's carrying around at great speed. And he kind of gets to the four of you, and he does one of those things where you're in a really big hurry. You're running. Oh, wait. No, it's them. I have to talk to them. And stops, and this guy, he's all decked out and frilly. Again, this is House Gildrun. They play up the drama angle of this whole thing. He's done up very, very nicely. Frills and lace everywhere. High polished boots and that kind of thing. He even has like an ornate, completely for show sword at his side, and that kind of thing. But as he comes to you, he bows. And he doesn't even ask for your identities. Apparently he knows, and he hands you, I'm going to say he hands Castian one of the scrolls, and bows again and heads on his way without really even saying a word. And Castian, you probably actually recognize this page. He's been working there for quite some time.
Okay. Assuming there's a poison snooper nearby, I will open it.
Yep. So yeah, there's always a poison snooper somewhere nearby.
I mean, because even we've done the trick of like slipping a scroll onto someone's plate as they walk by, is just so the next person who takes it off
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, who knows if it's good enough? That's the thing. Is your poison snooper a better poison snooper than the poison is? We don't know. But yes, you kind of. I'll say you're able to easily snoop it from where you're at. You just left one of like the espionage like areas of the castle, and it looks like you open it up and you see each of your names at the top of it. Or is Castian kind of keeping it to himself or showing it to the group at once?
I'll show it, unless it was like to Castian only,
No, like, yeah, literally all your names are listed. You kind of, okay, that's our names. And I can imagine all four of you kind of gathered around Castian and the scroll looking, eagerly to see what it says. Because it's not every day an actual page stops you. This is more for, noble communiques and stuff like that, of which none of you really are, per se. But it says you see your names, and you see below your names the seal of House Atreides, like a red hawk on what looks like a purple background. And the substance of the message basically says you are cordially invited for the introduction and christening of the son of Duke Leto. And there's a date that's less than a week away.
Cool. Reza is very excited.
Sounds
that's
like a party
today. Yeah, unless you guys actually want, there's like any closing items you wanted to take care of, or anything like that. And I like a maybe.
Maya wants to do, and that is to send a message to the Sisterhood.
Nice.
Regarding...
Let's frame the scene like, she's in her private quarters, already checked for listening devices, and now she's making some kind of recording or writing something down in some forgotten language. What does it say?
Yeah, it's probably in some language that like only the Bene Gesserit remember at this point, and. But yeah, it's not anything intense other than just like regurgitating what Nestor said to her, and the fact that he wants to basically turn operative for the Sisterhood in the hopes of riding out whatever it is to come that he's seen in his projections, and and then basically her just asking for further instructions, like, what do you want me to do here? How does the Sisterhood wish to proceed?
Cool. All right, and you'll probably send that like that goes in some kind of like guild message container that she just hands off, and is and after she seals it, it's kind of sealed again. The guild is in addition to transporting things, it's by definition the way communication works in Universe. They pretty much transmit messages too. Interstellar messages. So this is like one of those things where there's probably like some kind of, guild certified locking mechanism on there. Like if it's broken, bad things happen to the people who open it and that kind of thing. And
she puts it on the next Highliner to Wallach 9. and then.
Excellent. All right. Cool. And that thing closes and the credits run, all the good stuff. All right. Awesome. So, again, there was so many things that came together to delay us from finishing off this thing. I feel bad, but on the other hand, they were all necessary. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the saddle. I'm looking forward to seeing where this next episode is going to land us all and what's going to happen and all that kind of good stuff. And, welcome back. Good to see you all. And, we will see you next week, barring catastrophe, and I hope everyone is doing well and all that good stuff. Let's say goodbye to our players for now. Let's start with Steve.
Hi, everyone.
What was that?
Said goodbye, everyone.
Just to be sure. I figured that was it, but it's good to be positive. And we have Suzanne, Tinker Gnome. Where can we find you, Tinker?
You can find me on Tinker Gnome at Tinker Gnome on Instagram or on, I think, maybe on Facebook as well. I don't remember. But hope everybody has a great week. This asshole says goodnight as well.
What's the asshole's name?
Mortimer von Buttfedora.
Appropriate. Very appropriate. Cool. And I didn't, you notice I didn't ask Steve where we can find him because even I can't find him. Again, we're not sure if that's his real name or if that's his identity or if we're seeing like an AI projection of someone who doesn't exist. I really don't know yet. I'm trying to figure that out. That's my quest in life, really. However, we can find Danielle out there. Danielle, where do we find you and how's it going?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at RyRackandTor. You can also find me on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/otherdoc, where I am playing my Invisible Sun campaign has finally come back from its year-long hiatus. And the avid brunch enthusiasts, as we have taken to calling ourselves, are continuing our quest to spread brunch to the multiverse and also maybe do actual plot things, but mostly just spreading the good word about brunch. So you can come watch us. It is a surreal slice of life game. It's very fun. And you can follow me for fun stuff about games and cosplay and nerd stuff.
Cool. Awesome. I'm a big fan of Otherdoc also, so I'm definitely going to have to check that out. So awesome. And just not that we can't already find you, but did you put anything out for the DMs Guild recently too again?
Actually, I just had something come out this week on DMs Guild. So if you are into such things, go check out Through the Veil Volume 2, which is a list of Feywild inspired magic items and trinkets for D&D, although you could adapt them to other systems if you so chose. Kind of timely. We started working on it a long time ago, but it just so happens that it's not coming out a couple of months before the Feywild themed D&D book. So if you're really into that stuff, you should go check it out. I've got like 5 items in there, I think. So you can try to guess which ones are mine.
Excellent. We'll do that. And Jonathan, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at Jonathan Swadley. You can find me on the DMs Guild there as well. That Through the Feywild is selling like hotcakes. I was seeing. I saw Elise post about it, and like that's really cool. I just had a thing get delivered. I was part of the Incredible Creatures Kickstarter, and that Alan Tucker ran, and it's my first like credit in a hardcover, and getting that in the mail was kind of like the neighbors probably should have come to check on me. I made noises, so that was really neat. It's on drive-thru right now, it's doing pretty well. So they did the thing that makes it cool and why you should get it is it's basically a monster manual, but instead of being like, hey, I'm a writer, here's my monster idea, they went to different artists and were like, hey, give us some cool art. And then they showed all the writers this artwork and were like, okay, you tell us, like, you draw inspiration from the artwork to come up with the creature now. So did it the other way around. Cool. Yeah, it's a really cool concept. And it's pretty cool. There's a lot of different stuff in it. There's like a wild magic table. There's a warlock patron in it. There's a subclass in it. Magic items, all kinds of crap, along with like 140 critters. So it's pretty nifty and well worth the $20 PDF in my opinion. But anyway, that's my coolness for the week.
Awesome. Cool. And I'm ScottsCaseFiles, this channel you're watching. And think about following, subscribing, all that kind of stuff. And if you're watching this on YouTube, think of subscribing, hitting the little bell to be notified when I put out stuff, which is weekly. And otherwise, again, I'm so happy to be back with my players. It's been like we've been like in a 3-week hiatus. We just finished Bedlam Hall last week. Which was a wonderful finale. Check that out on YouTube if you had a chance. And thank you again for Steve for participating in that one. Pretty awesome. And we'll see you next week, barring catastrophe. That's really all anyone can say, really, truly. Anyway, be good to each other, all that good stuff. Go forth and do no harm, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.